Today I'm going to be sharing with you the secret to unlock the universe. And I really want to be genuine with this in sharing that I do not have it all figured out at all, but I have some really, really helpful things that I'm learning, and I wanted to pass those things along. So what I'll be talking about is empathy. Now you may be thinking, oh man, here we go. What are you going to teach me about empathy? I have the goal of really having the best kind of experience for my children as possible. I have the goal of helping my employees and the people I work with have the best experience at work, to really enjoy their work. I really want my family, my kids, to enjoy their childhood. I want my wife to enjoy her life. And I struggle when people don't experience life like that. And I know that I only have something, a small part to play in that they have responsibility as well. But I do have a part to play. And that part is usually going to where they are, understanding things from their perspective, and then making decisions considering things from their perspective. So in researching what I could do to be a more effective team leader, as a father, as a fitness instructor, as a manager, as an administrator, as a teacher, and what I found was that my role is to help the people I'm charged to help get to where they want to go. And so in order for me to really know how I can be the most useful, to be the best servant leader I can be, I have to get inside their shoes. We're reading a book, my wife and I, called The Power of Vulnerability. I recently also went to John Maxwell Leadership Summit, and he was talking about growth, and one of the speakers he had was talking about how to be a multiplier, not a diminisher as a leader, but how to really be a multiplier. Someone who, when you're on this person's team, you become more intelligent. If you're on this person's team, your level, your game gets raised higher, and that's a multiplier. But really most of us operate as diminishers, and that means that when we're on a team, our team actually does worse because of our influence. And often it's even the most intelligent of us, the best meaning of us, often can operate as diminishers. So what I found a common thread through all these things, through Brene Brown and John Maxwell and this woman who was speaking at John Maxwell's Leadership Summit, what I found was that there was a common thread, and that thread was empathy. If I as a leader can actually put on the shoes of the people I've been charged to lead, that have been put in my care, then I can do a tremendous job with really seeing where they're coming from and identifying their needs. So it got a little bit complicated because I also read a report from, I think it's Rozovsky from Google. She's this researcher at Google that's one of the people that studies work at Google and how to make it more effective. And part of it was that she studied what makes teams really effective. And group norms were really at the heart of what makes teams effective. And the two norms were that people really notice, are really, really good at noticing cues that each other are giving. And then they also allow equal time for each other to share. And I think those are really important attributes in a leader, to cultivate those group norms. And I think you can cultivate those by modeling those behaviors, but also by leading with vulnerability and then allowing others when they share, then there's an opportunity for empathy. And so what I really am committed to is, how can I get people to trust, become vulnerable, share their stories, so I can get the insight to really get inside their shoes. And so to me, empathy and story go together so well. Empathy and vulnerability, they really, really have to go together well. And so Brene Brown kind of explained empathy in this way. She said, sympathy is when you see someone down in a hole, suffering, and you are at the top of the hole, and you say, man, it really must be awful to be down there. Here, I'll throw you a rope. Might as well climb it and get back up. That's awful to be down there. Now, empathy is actually going down in the hole on a ladder where you can get out of the hole if you choose, but choosing to go down in the hole with that person and just say, man, this is really hard. This is really something that's difficult, but I'm going to be here and walk with you through it. And to get kind of in the yuck with people. And so I realized what the power of getting in that yuck when one of my daughters shared with me a conflict she was actually having with her sister. And when she was having this conflict, she was so emotionally hurt. And honestly, I didn't feel much like empathizing. I felt like, okay, but what did you do? That sort of thing. Helping her see her part in it. And I think there's some degree of that needs to happen. But really, what was really effective, what helped her open up and helped her be at ease, and I helped her blossom and increased the trust between her and I, was when I said, man, that sounds really hard. I have brothers and a sister, and I remember sometimes we used to fight. And I just kind of shared my story. Not a lot, but just enough, just a couple sentences. And it helped her see that I was willing to really feel what she felt. I was really willing to identify with her. And it was like she felt cared for, and that was what she needed. She needed the connection. And that's what I think empathy gives us an opportunity to do in our teams, is produce a connection. In Galatians it says, bear one another's burdens. Bear one another's burdens. That is really how we fulfill the law, which is really love God and love others. So how we love God and love others is by bearing one another's burdens. That's a really important idea, and I think we do that by empathizing, being vulnerable to encourage others to see that it's a safe place for them to share, and then listening to their stories, identifying with them, going into the pit with them, but knowing we have a way out. So I encourage whoever is watching this to take that challenge, to take the challenge to really share vulnerably, establish a place that you're a safe place to share, listen intently to the stories you hear, and then identify with them so you can begin to put on the shoes of those that you're called to lead.